It happens tomorrow for Bitcoin, 24 hours. I know how much everyone loves that, but there is an announcement that's going to happen tomorrow that will be pretty important for Bitcoin, pretty big. We do have cryptos running a bit right now. SUI is moving back up close to all-time highs. And I want to go through how much it takes to retire on SUI. That will just be part of the video. But we have Grok saying that Bitcoin's going to go up to 25 million per Bitcoin in 20 years. We have a bunch of earnings this week, like big news every single day, it seems like. And then I also want to give you an insight. I'm going to actually show you one of my portfolios. I'm just going to open it. You can see all the numbers. No, like, hey, this is my percentage. No, we'll actually go through it and I'll explain what I'm doing there. I've been able to grow it for years. So if you don't mind, hit subscribe to see future videos just like this. If you want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video. You can check out BYDeFi. Apparently it logged me out, but we are up significantly on our positions right now. You can look back at any of the previous videos. I'll log in for the next video, but we are up significantly. We've been able to make life-changing profits this bull run on leveraging crypto. You can actually see here some of my older positions as well over on BLOFIN. You can check out the link to this underneath the video too if you want. But both of these allow you to use Coin M, which allows you to actually trade crypto with crypto as collateral. And BYDeFi has this trade and earn $10,000 worth of XRP event happening right now. So you can get up to $10,000 of free XRP just for trading like how you would on any other platform. So if you're using a different platform, try this one. Like switch over to this. Use the link underneath the video. If you want to join the Telegram too, depending on how much you trade, we can get you one-on-one support with someone at BYDeFi. So if you ever have any questions or concerns or anything that you want addressed quickly, you can use the Telegram underneath the video, and there's a post explaining how to get access to that. Now, we have a big week for crypto. First of all, crypto is moving a little bit right now. You can see Bitcoin hitting what we've seen as resistance right around 18.4 right now. And if we look, like a lot of the market's actually pumping up. Ethereum up at over 3,800. We have SUI. Let's actually pull up SUI here for a second. SUI is breaking out. It's up at 426. It was just up at 442. And it's getting close to all-time highs. You can see here, prior all-time high was back in January at $5.30, or quickly approaching. Over the last month, it is up 60%. I actually just, in the last couple weeks, posted a video explaining the top cryptos to buy and the top altcoins to buy. And this is one of my picks. It's the most explosive altcoin, I think, out there, along with maybe XRP, but XRP just makes a couple huge runs. SUI seems to constantly pump up and down 30%. So very, very volatile there. Of course, XRP has been a little bit more volatile recently, but we do have a big week ahead. We have GDP on Wednesday along with the FOMC. So Jerome Powell's going to be speaking. We have PCE as well, personal income, a lot of economic data this week. And we also have earnings. So we have Visa, SoFi, PayPal, Starbucks, Spotify, United Health Group, all on Tuesday. We actually have Waste Management on Monday, which is a big company as well. On Wednesday, we have Altria and Etsy and Meta and Microsoft, Robinhood. Like, there are a lot of retail favorites, and then just some of the largest companies in the world. Apple and Amazon, Strategy, Coinbase, Riot, all on Thursday. MasterCard is up there too. So this is the biggest earnings week. A lot of volatility will be coming from that because people will be looking at what they're saying, what they're projecting, how much they're spending to determine, what will the Fed do, what's the economy look like, how are earnings looking going forward, etc. Just a few days ago, Galaxy dumped 80,000 Bitcoin for one investor, and yet we're still at 118,000. Saylor is about to buy $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, or maybe he's already buying that now. That could be part of the reason we're kind of moving back up. White House is going to announce their Bitcoin and crypto bill, and I don't think it's really a bill as much as a report. I think they were just doing research, but this includes information about Bitcoin strategic reserve. This is going to be on Wednesday, and then there's the Fed rate decision on Wednesday too. Like, it is a stacked week. This is the biggest week that we've seen this quarter for crypto, for sure. And tomorrow, MSTR is going to be buying, right? They said, or Michael Saylor says, it all began with $250 million in Bitcoin. Now they're doing that every week almost, sometimes much more than that. So they're buying so much Bitcoin. The ETFs are going to open. They've, of course, been buying Ethereum like mad. They've been buying hundreds of millions of dollars of Ethereum every single day. They have been laying off Bitcoin, but that was just last week. The week before that, they bought 20,000 Bitcoin. The week before that, 15,000 Bitcoin. So if we get to them buying again, which starts tomorrow, keep in mind it starts tomorrow. If they start buying again, be ready for all-time highs. I think we could see explosive moves. And don't be surprised if that doesn't happen. Like significant buying is slowed down for a little bit while earnings season is happening. I could see how managers would probably want to watch to see what stocks are falling down significantly, because Bitcoin is what it is. But like stocks might get mispriced for a short period of time. So they might want to, have some extra cash on the sidelines just for earnings and to see how it all goes. Imagine earnings go smoothly, then they might want to dump their money back into more risk on assets, at least how they consider risk on assets, which would be Bitcoin. Grok, apparently, this is coming from Beck, saying, using 3 approaches, historical CAGR, $13 million Bitcoin by 2046. Stock to flow, $50 million Bitcoin by 2026. Adoption models, e.g. Sailors, 29% growth to global reserve, 21 million. Triangulating, I expect $25 million per Bitcoin in 2046. Just a cool 200x from here. That's crazy. If we get a 200x on Bitcoin, I'll be very happy. Of course, I hope you all have Bitcoin at that point. I hope, at that point, I think most people will. It'll be in probably every portfolio. And it already almost is, indirectly, at least with Sailor and Block and other companies being added to the S&P 500 and NASDAQ and that kind of thing. But that will only continue, and everyone will have a small bit of Bitcoin indirectly. But hopefully it's also more directly, like in retirement accounts, people will have an allocation to Bitcoin. And we might get there a little bit differently than people expected. Mitchell Hodl says that basically Bitcoin looks entirely different before and after the ETF. The days of parabolic bull markets and devastating bear markets are over. Bitcoin's going to $1 million over the next 10 years through a consistent oscillation between pump and consolidate. It will bore everyone to death along the way and shake out the tourists, but strap in. And I somewhat agree. Bitcoin has definitely acted different. Like even in the last bull market, we saw Bitcoin go up to 64,000, then all the way down to 30,000, and then back up to 69,000. So we were seeing like 50+% moves in the middle of the bull market. We haven't seen that yet. We've seen like 35% moves. We went up to 74, then went down to 49. Then we went up to 108, went down to 74. We haven't seen the same moves that we've seen in the past. And I've been explaining this, like we are seeing a lot more chop, where we'll move up to a new all-time high, and then we'll consolidate, move down, flip the prior resistance into support, then make a big move up. Then chop down prior resistance into support, and then move up. So again, if you see some kind of move down to 112 or 110, that's probably a pretty good indication you should be long this market. Like go long, because the last 2 times that's happened, we've seen big moves up. Of course, you can always have a stop loss or something like that. But yeah, it is fascinating to see the change in the market and the sentiment and buyers in the market. Of course, there are just so many big buyers like there haven't been in the past. Okay, let's talk about SUI, and then I'll get into my portfolio. So SUI, moving up again today. We have broken out. So big props to Altcoin Hero. He pointed this out at $4.06, that we're in this symmetrical triangle and that we are breaking above the resistance line. So broke above, now we're shooting up pretty quickly, right? We broke up to $4.40, $4.42, depending on the chart you're looking at, which is a higher high. And then we also have higher lows. So looking pretty bullish here. Now, I haven't made a how much SUI you need to retire video, a full video. I don't think ever, but I do it with XRP, Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Maybe I'll do that in the future, but I'm sure some people are thinking, well, if this continues, how high could it go? And of course, like there are a lot of technicals you can look at. I'm just going to keep it really simple. Let's just look at, how big some other cryptos have gotten, right? So Solana, sitting at $100 billion market cap. Let's look at how big it got last bull market. So last bull market, it went up to 70 billion or so. Let's say SUI gets up to that size. That would be about a 5x from where it is now. A lot of people don't understand where I'm getting those numbers because they just look at the price per coin, but what you really need to look at is the market cap. So $14-15 billion versus $70 billion, about a 5x. Let's say it's a 6x because of money printing and stuff like that. 6x is the new 5x, right? It's a little bit bigger than Solana was last cycle. That would put it around $25. So if, let's say you wanted to retire off SUI and you wanted to spend $100,000 a year, of course, we're making a lot of assumptions. In my full videos, I go into a lot more depth and discuss this more. But let's say you use the 4% rule, which is pretty well known in the traditional finance world, basically saying you can sell 4% of your portfolio and you can have the gains from your portfolio offset what you're taking out, which not great for a single asset, but you could always sell all of your SUI. I don't know your tax situation, but you could sell it and then put it into something else. Again, this is just a thought exercise. We can go into more detail if you guys want it with a full video, but that means that you would need about $400,000 in SUI now to be able to get to 2.5 million then. So you'd still need a lot of tokens, 100,000 tokens, SUI tokens to retire. But what if SUI goes up more than that? Maybe not this cycle, but maybe the next cycle. Right? Maybe SUI sticks around, goes in the top 10, top 5, something like that. Well, if we got up to a third of what Ethereum's market cap is now, that would put it around 140 million, something like that, or 140 billion, which would be about a 10x from where we are now, maybe an 11x. So you could maybe need $250,000 in SUI, which is a lot less, but still a lot of money. Of course, you don't need to retire on just SUI. I wouldn't even suggest that. Like if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I'll just go all in SUI. That's not smart. I actually just talked about that with my buddy Levi in a different video. Full video is coming out later today, so watch that. But we do not suggest to go all in on any one crypto, mostly for psychological reasons, but also for risk and diversification. But what if SUI goes up to $1 trillion? Well, that's about a 70x from here. So then you'd need a lot less. For $2.5 million, you'd need, survey says, about $35,000 worth of SUI. So at today's prices, that's about 8,400 tokens. Again, not saying that's going to happen. That has never happened with anything besides Bitcoin. So don't bank on that by any means. But I'm saying, maybe a decade down the line. And even then, I'd be careful of that. But it's fun to think about, right? It's fun to think about how much you need to retire. And again, hopefully it's only a small portion. Even if you're really bullish, maybe it's 20, 30% or something of your entire net worth if it goes up that much. Maybe it's more than that if it goes up 70x or something. But yeah, I believe in diversification, which brings me to my next point. 5 years ago, actually right around when I started buying crypto, I was buying stocks, and I still do. I still buy stocks, but I set up a portfolio that I was going to dollar cost average in no matter what. And I wasn't going to change it. Like I wasn't going to all of a sudden make more money and then put in a lot more money into this portfolio. This portfolio is basically set. Every once in a while for like the year, I might bump it up so that I contribute a little bit more, but it doesn't fluctuate at all. And I buy what a lot of people consider boring companies, some of the biggest, most profitable companies in the world that pay dividends, and I just reinvest the dividends and buy more shares. Every week, I deposit $200. It used to be 100, then it turned into 150 after a year or two, then it turned into 200, but I'm just consistently buying. And this is just one of my portfolios. It's not close to my biggest portfolio, but just my consistent portfolio that I'll show my kid one day. Be like, hey, if you buy $100, and I realize not everyone can do this, but if you buy $100 a week or 200, again, I realize that's a lot for some people, but if you do that, you can make life-changing amounts of money. And this can be said for crypto too. I know some people that do this with crypto. I am a little bit more strategic with when I buy crypto. It's not just a never-ending drip into crypto. I buy very heavily during the bear market. I trade during the bull market, but I don't I don't put in $200 a week no matter what. But this is my portfolio. I wanted to show you it because it's gone to the point where I think it's worth talking about. It's fun to look at. You can see here the dividend and income growth portfolio. Sounds boring, doesn't it? And it's almost heresy to even buy stocks as a crypto influencer, but I think it's great diversification. And I've made, decent money. Nothing compared to what I make in Bitcoin or in SUI or Ethereum, but it's also very steady money. I don't think this is going to turn into like life-changing money for me. Not saying that's not life-changing money for someone else, but it's just something that I can look back at and be like, hey, I did a great job of consistently buying dips for my entire life. And at some point there might be some life-changing opportunity where I don't really, maybe I don't want to use cash or something, or maybe I just see such an opportunity within crypto that I want to cash a little bit of this out. I could have done that during the bear market, but I didn't because I bought with other cash that I had. But this is what it looks like. You can see the graph over time, very steady with the couple dips in there taken out. It's very steady. But I've been able to get market gains of $14,700, earn dividends of $2,000. So it's not like I'm getting a ton in dividends. I'm not really focusing on dividends. I'm focusing on buying really good companies. And you can see I have a very large position in Google. I feel very strongly about Google that it's a really good value right now. And it has been for a while. You can see I won't go too in depth, but revenue up 14% over the last year, over the last 5 years up 17%. So it's growing consistently. Their margins are really good. Their cloud margins are spiking to 21%. EBITDA is spiking, net income spiking. It's so consistent. Free cash flows moving up. Dividends, they pay dividends. They're buying back a lot of stock, 2.1% over last year. Great return on capital employed. Valuation is still just 20 PE. This is on the previous trailing 12 months. I think the forward PE is probably more like 17 and a half, something like that, because they're growing quicker than most people expect. And then, maybe, I guess kind of a retail favorite, Texas Roadhouse. I bought this a long time ago though. And then I've added to it strategically when it's been down. So I don't just add equal amounts to all these. Each week I pick a stock that I want to buy, and I try to hold on to these through thick and thin, unless there's something that massively changes my thesis. You can see though, Texas Roadhouse is a beast company. I mean, in 2023 to 2024, they grew their net income by 42%. EPS, same thing. Free cash flow, same thing. Revenue is growing faster than a lot of tech companies, 16%. And they're selling at a 28 price to earnings. They were lower when I was buying. They were, let's see. I don't think you can look at this chart. I want to say they were at 20 price to earnings. But yeah, I just buy companies like this, continue to dollar cost average. You can see some of the dividends too. I can just show you the dividends here. $42, $5, $24, $10, $6, $1, $25, $42. Not anything crazy, but it does add up over time. And it's not even like I said earlier, it's not like I'm going for the highest dividends. I could buy stocks that pay 10% dividends, or crypto stocks like MSTY or ETFs, I suppose, that pay 100%. That's not really what this portfolio is for. And it's not even like it's necessarily growing over time, because there are certain stocks I sell that pay really good dividends, like Vici, which is a REIT. It was paying really good dividends, and now I'm getting paid less dividends because I rotated that capital to Google because I think it'll perform better, and it already has. It will perform better over time, even accounting for the dividends. But yeah, I just wanted to give you a look inside. I have other portfolios outside of M1 Finance, so you're not seeing everything here, but I think it's important to have diversification because it keeps you, I think, level-headed when the crypto market's up and down and sideways and crazy stuff is happening. And you also have money to draw from if you do want to add more. Will this outperform Bitcoin? No, I don't think it will. But sometimes you just need something that you can pull from or that keeps you rational. And maybe that's a flaw. Maybe that's a flaw that I have, that I can't be rational if I'm 100% crypto, but I do have a family. right? And I realize there are two camps of people that understand that, and then people that say, no, it's all about having the best return possible. And part of it too is maybe just where you're at in your investing journey. Like I've been able to grow a significant net worth, and I don't want to put everything into one basket, because if I'm wrong, then I just worked and made life-changing amounts of money and it was just gone, right? Like, whether I get a 10% return or a 12% return, it doesn't really change my life too much at this point. But let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. I am heavily invested into Bitcoin, the Bitcoin ETFs. I do have extra leverage that I use too, right? When I leverage trade, I get exposure to more crypto. So that's more my risk on portfolio. I guess this, along with some of the ETFs I own, are some of my risk off. I do have some cash and some real estate too. But yeah, I like diversification, and it provides constant cash flow. So if something happens to my YouTube channel, then I'm still covered. By the way, YouTube has taken down a couple videos of mine recently. XRP videos, one that I thought was a little bit too political, which I was just showing a news clip. This is like a little while ago, but it was a video that had over 100,000 views in a day, and then YouTube took it down. So I have started a Telegram. I linked it underneath the video. That way, if my channel gets taken down for something stupid, because they have AI like running to scrub people's videos and to take videos down, then you can appeal it, but within a minute it's just denied. So it's not actually someone reviewing it, even when it says it is. If you want to check out my Telegram, I post the videos there that are taken off of YouTube, or even I post exclusive videos or videos like this. I post this kind of video early on there. It's completely free. It's not spammy. There's no back and forth with other members either. Like, it's just me putting videos in there. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out underneath the video. If you are a trader too, we are giving one-on-one support if you want to BYDFi, and we set up a whale chat too. So if you're a big trader, you can talk with other big traders. You can ask them questions or see what they're doing. And this is for bigger traders, because then we can hook you up in case you want one-on-one support. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. A bit of a longer video. Let me know if there's anything in this video that you want me to expand upon. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.